I swear to God, if you idiots elect that demented man, I will burn this whole fucking place to the ground.
How did we get here?
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm Don. Nice to meet ya. Having a little trouble with the fact I beat ya? I guess so. Music to my ears got me thirsty though. Ooh, good gushing. You done got me buzzing. Nothing hits the spot like an arrogant twat balling on TikTok. Raise a shot. Oh, I've been sipping. Nothing satisfies like the taste of the crowds. They're flipping, tripping, quenching my soul, but I never get full. Bottomless glass, no empty cups. Bathe in the rain of pretentious fucks who don't listen. I listen. Pour me another Harry Sisson. I'm sipping. Good God, you're a touchy bunch. Fresh tears to wash down my lunch. Sanctimonious fruit punch. Lap up the juice of entitled country. Hate him bitches. Drink it like fishes. Delicious. One of my favorite dishes. True chemo wishes. Grinning like Ulysses. Mega back in business. Oh, I've been sipping.
Well, hello, my little piggies. Welcome back to the Chan. And as you can see, a lot of conservatives out there are having a real fun time with this Trump win. But leftists, not quite so much.
Today wasn't supposed to be a crying day.
Let's not forget that Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross wrote in her 1969 book on death and dying that there are 5 stages of grief. First, there's denial.
225,000 votes in 3 swing states go differently, and Kamala Harris is the president. That's not that many people, and I think acting like it's some big mandate or some big electoral landslide when in the last 20 years we've seen bigger wins on both sides doesn't make any sense to me.
If this was on the other side, you would be, this is a mandate against Trumpism.
Maybe, but I mean, it's not. So
you don't be saying it's the end of Trump.
Come on.
Then there's anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. Well, I think a lot of the leftists, a lot of people who lost here, they are fully entrenched in step number 2 of anger. I mean, check out what happened here. This is absolutely disgusting. A house in Bucks County, Pennsylvania went up in flames just 2 nights ago, 1 month after an arsonist targeted the home that had a Trump sign in the yard. So I've heard that they have caught this person that did it a month ago, but it's very interesting timing with this. And there is a GoFundMe set up for the 2 families that have supposedly been affected very heavily by this. But absolutely disgusting. The tolerant left at it again with their love and acceptance. They are everything that they claim to hate. And it's always people like this that claim to be so open-minded that always want to resort to violence.
I am a woman, and I use the women's restroom. And I guarantee you, not one of you will stop me.
Supposedly the family cat and dog died here as well. That makes it even worse. Imagine working your entire life for your house, your car, building, and then some person with an over-emotional reaction, because that's what's happening. Everybody is emotional. They've all been gaslit. They've all been lied to. Their worldview and reality has been shattered, and they are reacting.
I've got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Stewardess, please, let me handle this.
I've got to get...
Calm down. Now get back to your seat. I'll take care of this. Calm down. Calm down. Get a hold of yourself.
Doctor, you're wanted on the phone.
But this is literally attempting to murder someone, multiple someones. I mean, liberals can be unbelievably evil sometimes. It blows my mind. And people are saying that this isn't even the original person, that they've got their eye on them, they're watching them, that there's like a cabal, there's people, like-minded people around him, and that somebody else did this either on his behalf or just had the same idea.
Tried to set the house on fire. Like, you're gonna light the house up right next to the gas meter, bro?
All because of a Trump sign in the yard. And right there by the gas meter could have blew up the whole neighborhood, could have at least blew up the neighbors, for Christ's sake. Like, it's wild how people will do this just because of a differing political opinion. I mean, sometimes I want to say I don't understand it, but I can understand it now. I mean, the environment now is so volatile. And these next few months between the time that Trump has been elected and actually gets inaugurated and put in late January, these 3 months are going to be insane. The Democrats have control of the House and the Senate. They're going to push through as much stuff as they can. They're going to lock in a lot of these government positions and political positions. We'll do a little bit of a video on that later, but things are going to get wild in the next few months, and this kind of stuff is just the beginning. I mean, you could have blown up both of your neighbors' houses, the guy behind you, everything. And speaking of your neighbors, you know, this kind of stuff used to be your neighbors. Like, it used to be you and your wife were kind of liberal, maybe tree huggers. Your neighbor was the conservative guy with the guns, and you got along with him okay, but you didn't have to worry about it in your living room. And in your backyard, hanging out in the kitchen with you. You know, maybe your neighbors on the other side were a little more libertarian. You like them, but they still weren't exactly like you. But now it's happening in the home. Now the difference is between men and women. Tim Pool talks about it here better than I ever could.
In 1996, percentage of people who support affirmative action. Democrats were about 21%. The median voter was about 18%, and Republicans were about 9%. Republicans have shifted from a single digit to a low single digit, not much change. Moderates have shifted up to 2020 from about 18 points to 21 points. And Democrats have gone from 21, which was comparable to moderates, to now 60%. A massive leftward lurch. You can then take a look at net support for increasing or cutting migration. It used to be, in 1996, that Democrats minus 20% to moderates minus 18 to Republicans minus 30. They were all comparably opposed to migration. They said, we got to cut it. Around 2012, the shift happened, and it became neutral for Democrats. As of 2020, the leftward shift was so pronounced that Democrats now 40% agree with increasing immigration. Now, you may be saying, Tim, this is Democrats versus Republicans, but I must inform you once again. Women support Democrats 70%. This is the hyper-radicalization of women in this country. I am not prescribing any solutions or any claims. I'm not saying they should or should not have these views. I'm saying the data shows men have stayed the same and women have hyper-radicalized. Median voters have stayed the same. Republicans have stayed the same. Democrats have gone super far to the left as they've become an increasingly female party. It may be that back in 1996, we can take a look at more data here from the New York Times, tracking 2016, we can see the median party of Europe to the left of the United States. We can see how Democrats shifted beyond even what was median in Europe. Even Labor and conservatives in Britain have shifted, but the Republicans have largely stayed the same. Now, you could make the argument at first, maybe it's because men are becoming Republican and women are becoming Democrat that we see that leftward lurch. No, I don't think that makes sense. The Democratic Party has lurched massively leftward, and there are some women who have moved to the Republican Party. Though younger millennial women are overwhelmingly Democrat, that's going to play a big issue. Republicans, if you look at the data on who's a Republican or a Democrat, it's like 55% of young men say that they're Republican, and it's something like 45% of young men, or I think it's 45% of young men. I'm probably getting the data wrong. The point is, when you take a look at the 4B movement, when you take a look at women saying they're swearing off men, that is an extremist, radical position. Here, let me read some of this, and then I'll explain what this manifests into. She writes, I've come to the conclusion that men can be dangerous. That's why 2 years ago at the age of 34, I chose to disengage from men entirely. To some, it's a radical idea. It's literally radical because males and females pair bond. To me, it's completely natural. This is basically femtau. Females going their own way. Femgtau? And now, after Donald Trump's re-election last week, thousands of women are joining me in this awakening. It's called the 4B movement. It began in South Korea in 2016 as a response to a horrific crime. Indeed, it's not a real thing. The 4B movement is reportedly a couple hundred women posting on social media, and it's not a real thing. Out of this tragedy, they say blah, blah, blah. It's the 4 no's. No heterosexual sex, no marriage, no children, no relationships. She says, I discovered 4B in 2022. At the time, I was in a state of transformation as my business was taking off, and I experienced typical questions that come with massive change. What do I want? Now the lifestyle has brought me to a sense of peace, confidence, and empowerment I never experienced before. She says, I grew up Catholic in St. Louis, Missouri, going to church, blah, blah, blah. And now here she is. When I moved to New York at age of 21, my world opened wide. I started having conversations I never would have had back home. They made me the woman I am now. Yeah, a radical. Radicalized woman who's isolating herself from half of the country. Now, how does this manifest? The radicalization of women largely results in hyperpolarization politically, and largely for these women, I believe they will abandon it. But in the media, we get this from The Conversation. We research online misogynist radicalization. Here's what parents of boys should know. I'm sorry, it's just not reality. Boys are not being radicalized. The data from Gallup shows this. Men have largely stayed the same. Their political views have not shifted. When we compare that boys age 18 to 29 do not identify as liberal, then you take a look at where the Republican Party is. The Republican Party's views on affirmative action and migration have largely stayed the same. That's it. Largely the same. When you look at the New York Times, the median party, this is based on party mandate. So this is all of the issues. The Republican Party from 2000 to 2016 is largely the same. With young men identifying as Republicans and not as liberals, you can see that young men's views on these issues has largely stayed in alignment with where Republicans were going back to 1996. That is not radicalization at all. Young women, not so much. Young women dominate the media spaces. You can see here this article, both written by a man and a woman, says male radicalization. But males' views haven't changed. Now, the argument from the left is, aha, that means that men have always been misogynist. No, it means that to a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
So there you go. Now it's in the house. Now it's you versus your wife instead of you versus your neighbor. I mean, they had campaign ads out there saying not to let your husband know that you voted for Kamala Harris.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls.
But take a look at this video here. It's a little bit annoying, but I can understand why this woman is losing her mind. Her worldview has been shattered. She has been lied to left, right, and center. She's been told that she is virtuous. She is correct. All of these people are crazy, and they're all going to lose because they're dying out. Old white men, the new generation coming in, peace and love and tolerance, and then bam, you were wrong, and you can't trust anything. You can't even trust your dating profiles.
I'm having a delayed reaction, but I just realized that I'm too scared to use dating apps now. I want to go on it and I just, every message and every profile just makes me think that it could be somebody like that's emboldened by Trump. And the profile was so normal.
Okay, so that was a little intense, but I can understand how she's thinking. I mean, if I was a middle-of-the-road guy going on dating apps, I would lie to get some punani, and I'd probably run away from most dates because I'd realize that the woman is insane. You spend like 25 minutes hanging out, having a drink, talking, you realize, okay, you hit a few points to see what she really thinks. She responds in ways that make you think, oh my God, you're a closet demon, you're demonic, and you don't realize it. You're a psychopath. So then maybe I'll just lie a little bit to you and try and get some pussy, and then I'm out. Heaven forbid I actually like you. Maybe I think I can fix you, just like women think they can fix a man. Maybe I can fix you. No way. MGTOW, baby. This is the time to get out. And I can't even believe I'm saying this, but people are fundamentally broken. And women, like Tim Pool was saying, have been radicalized along with people being fundamentally broken. I mean, check this out.
I need us to go back to simple bathroom signs because I was in a nice Italian restaurant with my partner the other night and I was so tired. And I'm alcohol free. And I walked to the bathrooms and there was a picture of a very sweet Italian grandma on one room and a very sweet Italian grandpa on the other. And my brain, my non-binary brain just blanked out and I couldn't identify with either. And I did not know what bathroom to use. And I turned to a genderqueer comrade in arms and I said, I'm so sorry, but like, I don't care what gender, what are these the bathrooms, what do I do? And they were like, it's fine.
Of course it's fine. The only thing around here that's not fine is you.
What an idiot.
Geez, I mean, like, get over yourself. If you can't, you know what, if you're really that confused today because you're so tired and you can't figure it out, can't you just go back to default mode? I mean, it's obvious that you're a woman.
I'm not going to listen to transphobia at this table.
All right, let's not get into that. But at least worldwide, the reactions have been pretty positive. Within 48 hours, check out what some of the world leaders out there are doing.
Donald Trump's not even president yet. And have you seen what's happened in the last 48 hours? The misogynist appoints the first ever woman to be chief of staff. The Taliban announced they want peace with America and to be taken off the terrorist list. Putin came out and said that Western civilization is not an enemy. Mexico has started securing the border in, of course, response to tariff threats. Saudi Arabia is kicking out all of their Hamas leaders. New York is cleaning up their illegal migrant crisis. Xi Jinping came out and said he wants to peacefully coexist with China and said that they respect American people. The European Union chief finally came out and said, hey, America, can we start buying LNG from you so they stop buying from Russian gas? Putin says he takes Donald Trump's plan to end the war with Ukraine very seriously and Russia supports it. The Houthis are stepping back. The Hamas called for an immediate end to war. He's calling for term limits in from Congress so that way people like Nancy Pelosi stop being forever members. Stock markets and crypto hit all-time highs. He sent Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton into depression. Because of all of this amazing news, white, liberal, ugly women are now refusing to have sex with men. America is in fact being made great again.
Haha, nice. But the battle against gaslighting and disinformation continues. I mean, I love me some Sky News Australia. Read a panty heap, baby. Giving it to you straight and you love it. But they are still gaslighting people all over the world. It's not just in America. They're doing it in Europe too. We're going to end off here showing you exactly how they are presenting Trump's win to children in France. People are twisted. Please subscribe, join. Thanks so much. And we'll see you on the next video.
Trump et son gouvernement font peur à tous les défenseurs des droits de l'homme, car ses futurs ministres sont des extrémistes de droite. Exemple, cet homme, Matt Gaetz. Il est pour les armes, contre la défense de l'environnement, anti-avortement. Il a été désigné ministre de la Justice. Sa mission, détruire le système judiciaire actuel pour le remplacer par une justice aux ordres de Donald Trump, car vous le savez, Trump a souvent été condamné. Autre nomination très critiquée, celle de Pete Hegseth, à la Défense. Cet ancien militaire est surtout connu pour être animateur depuis 10 ans sur la chaîne Fox News. Considéré comme archi-conservateur et sexiste, il ne veut pas de femmes combattantes dans l'armée. Lui, vous le reconnaissez, c'est Elon Musk, le milliardaire propriétaire de Tesla, fabricant de voitures électriques, du réseau social X et des fusées SpaceX. C'est un fan de Trump car il compte sur lui pour baisser les impôts des patrons et supprimer les normes sur l'environnement ou l'intelligence artificielle pour que Musk puisse faire tout ce qu'il veut. Justement, il a été choisi pour réduire au maximum les dépenses de l'État, notamment pour la santé ou l'école.